My name is Shiro Komu and I'm the founder of Zazi. Zazi is a women empowerment platform and we are based in Nairobi, Kenya.
My name is Brenda Ogera of Ogera Law. Ogera Law is a legal firm based in Karen in Nairobi, Kenya.
My name is Disi Obanda of Jurabox. Jurabox is an African social enterprise specifically around the law. We exist to unbox the law to make the important things simple. Ladies, episode 5, Ladies and the Law. Back with the wonderful
Brenda Ogera
and Shiro Komu.
And today things are a bit, and myself, Disi Obanda, Jurabox. Welcome, the hostess with the mostess. Well, today things are a bit somber, depending on what side you're sitting.
Yes, please.
Yes, but today people are going their separate ways. We had a wedding, it was great, ululations and stuff.
Nice.
And and now we have to say goodbye. Today we're talking about divorce. Ladies, what things, omissions or commissions, would cause you to say it's a wrap? Can't do this anymore. Let's go our separate ways. Brenda,
I'm more commissions type of girl. You do A.
what is A?
I'm out.
What is A? Tell us A.
I'm out. Adultery it is for me. Yeah, cheating.
Yeah, that just
Right
doesn't-
off the bat, that's
doesn't cut
it's a
it
no-brainer.
for you.
It's a
Sure.
no-brainer.
Sure.
Did I stutter? Did I stutter? Did I stutter?
I'm
So
sorry.
yes,
we are
for me,
sorry.
for
we
me
are
it's
sorry.
cheating. DC, it is. Yeah.
All right. Wanjiro, what's that thing that's just
Where to begin? Really?
there's a list. Okay.
No, like Brenda. Yeah, I think it's adultery for sure.
Yeah.
The other things we can
We can talk.
We can
More
talk
so
about.
omissions.
See,
Omissions we
you
can
know,
talk.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm not yet there yet, but when I do get there, dare you lay your hand on me? No.
It's
Yeah.
a no.
Getting physical with me, beating me up, that doesn't work.
Namchapa tu pia.
No,
with your heels.
My father didn't beat me. You have
Who are
no
you?
right to lay your hands on me. So for me, that's that thing that's just
It's no.
yeah.
no, it wouldn't work. So where you're sitting, Wanjiro, what are those types of things that you feel like women would like to know about divorce? Yeah,
There are many.
take it away.
However, I think we can start with Brenda telling us the difference between this so-called separation and there's this other one that's thrown around, annulment and the divorce.
Actually, separation is always turned around more.
Is
Because
what?
people are
Sorry?
like, oh, I'm separated from my husband, yet
You're not sure.
Yes, there's a
It's
gray
temporary.
area there. But yeah, to answer your question, separation is different from divorce, yes, and so is annulment. So basically, what separation is, it's the, can you use the word to define a word? So
Yeah.
it's the staying apart of a couple. When the laws were made or when they were written, there was this idea of let parties try to stay away from each other first before running to divorce, so that they can test the waters, see if they can reconcile. Yes.
Or not see if you can live. If
No.
you can't live without each other.
What are you thinking? It is
To
more,
confirm you
yes,
can live
it
by
is more-
yourself.
Yes. No, ladies,
We are writing our own law.
you're writing your own script here.
I'm sorry.
It's to see if I can stay without him. No, it's not. It's to see if the parties can actually reconcile, talk through their issues, see if they can come back together. So that is the main reason for separation before you run to divorce. But divorce is ultimate. By the time you're going for divorce, you really want this marriage cancelled. Yes.
That's the permanent
That's
one.
the permanent one. So separation, you're not divorced yet, you still can't remarry.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You can get into relationships, but you can't formalize the same because you're still attached to
Someone legally.
Yes, exactly. Now, annulment is a whole different thing. Annulment comes when your marriage was void ab initio. So basically, we are talking. You got into into
Ab initio for the
from
viewer?
the get from
Yes.
it was void from the beginning, from like it never existed. So for instance, you get into a marriage where there was no consent, probably there was coercion or something, then you can have that marriage annulled. You probably lacked capacity. I was under 18 when this 21-year-old man came and told me, let's get married. That is a void marriage, so it can actually be annulled. Because legally, this 17-year-old didn't have the legal capacity to get into this relationship. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or you did not consummate.
Or consummation, by then that's another thing. Yeah.
So we can annul haraka
We can
haraka.
annul haraka. But it depends. For consummation, it depends because you can get married today and the guy is flying out to Europe tomorrow. So perhaps you didn't get the chance to consummate your marriage. To our viewers, consummation is having sex within the marriage. Yes, sealing the deal. So, yes.
Sealing
So
the
if
deal.
you never seal the deal and this man had to rush to Europe, really for me, consummation is neither here nor there. It's just, I think, a matter of I'm fed up.
So
Yeah.
it's the consummation.
Because
one
I
is
think we,
personal.
yes,
Yeah,
I think we
had-
actually,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
we talked about this. So it
Yeah.
depends really. If you can wait for 1 year
Or 10.
or
like-
10, it's up to you.
It's up to you.
Yeah, and you're still in a married relationship. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you feel after 2 months, me, I'm done. I've not got this thing. Boy, bye.
Oh, get on a plane, go
to
find
Europe. You know, there are
It happens.
options.
It happens, by the way. So yeah. So basically, that's the difference between annulment, separation,
And
and
divorce.
divorce. Yes.
Ladies, 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 we are back. And today we are going our separate ways. I'm sorry, we are back.
Okay, so so Shiro here is just like, you know what, I didn't sign up for this. First of all, you need to get out of my space. I want a divorce. Is it that easy, or do I need to have an actual ground for divorce? Yeah.
Initially, you had to prove grounds of divorce, and it's still there to a certain extent. When you want to divorce your partner, you have to prove that the relationship has irretrievably broken down. That's the biggest thing. So under that now is when you probably say that yes, he cheated. These are the receipts. These are photos of them kissing or doing whatever, or he's been cruel to me. These are the 3 forms that I've taken out to show proof that this guy used to beat me, or he used to be emotionally abusive, etc. But there's been a recent judgment that by Justice Nyakundi, who actually said that when a couple is done and there's no love exited the WhatsApp group. Yeah.
It's
Who
about
are they?
extent.
Who are they to say that still you have to
You
come
stay
and
together.
prove grounds that that are good sufficient for us to grant you a divorce?
It's about your intention.
It's about your intentions. Yes.
But isn't that absolutely messy? Proving in court. Court is
It is.
public,
It is.
and those are some very private
Mm-hmm.
and embarrassing things to prove in court.
Imagine that's what it is. I've handled quite a number of divorce cases, and that's exactly what it is. Most of where your client tells you, yes, I'm okay with this photo being part of the exhibits. Yes, and we print them.
And they're like, exhibit A.
Yeah. No, it's actually on the record.
Blown
So
up.
the judge, of course, from his side, will just look at them and conclude for himself that yes, this actually happened. We do them.
You
It's
made
messy.
your bed, Yeah, you sleep in it.
Yeah, it's messy, but that's what it is. That's what divorce court is. Yeah.
Okay. So, as women, there are times we need to get a divorce, even for safety reasons, in cases of violence and, just situations that are not healthy for you or safe for you. And there are things many women, and we've had many of these stories, or you might even have friends who are like, I really need to get away from this situation, but you know, one of those things is, you know, my financial ability. It's, you know, it's Kenya. Things are really expensive. You know, surviving is really expensive, and I know that is a financial reason. But Brenda, in a case like this, and I'm sure you have had women come to you and be like, I really want a divorce, but my finances, and you've invested in this marriage. So quickly, and I know we covered a bit of this in the property episode, but in what ways can women protect themselves or stay ready? I'm sorry for using that phrase, but yeah.
You know, it's important for women to ensure that they have savings, very key, because when such a thing happens, what you need is liquidity from the get. Yeah. So in as much as you invested into your matrimonial property and whatnot, you always need some savings on the side for purposes of these things like divorce proceedings, to enable your lawyer take you through it. Yeah. Legal fees, right?
Yeah.
So savings is key. But to answer your question, to protect yourself in terms of the matrimonial property, you just have to ensure that you have records of your contribution, so that if it comes to it, that you're getting now into the division of matrimonial property, there's records and receipts and proof that you actually contributed to whatever property that you owe. Yeah.
Brenda, there's a lot of interest on divorce online. If you Google divorce, there are, the question that's being asked is, why is there so much divorce? And the rate of divorce has gone up, in the last few years. As you sit as a wakili in your office, and one of the things that you will see is that, there's so many divorce cases filed, but the only impediment is legal fees.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that you will find.
Yeah.
Which Wanjiru sort of brought up when she talked about financial capability. Mm-hmm. So as you sit in your office, and women come to you and they're thinking about, even men thinking about a divorce and the divorce process, what are those things that impede them or that make them feel like, I should be apart from this person, but maybe this process, or this is the impediment that's stopping me from starting the divorce process?
Mostly it's the emotional turmoil that people try to avoid. Divorce comes with so much heartbreak as opposed to just a normal breakup with a partner, because there's so much that is invested into this relationship. We are talking property, we are talking time, we are talking children, that now just flips the whole thing upside down. Yeah. So because of that, it's for that reason that people try to second guess themselves. I'm in it, I'm not happy, but let us try and see if we can work it out. You understand? So that's now where separation comes into play. Okay. So you find that there's so many separations, but not everybody have finalized their separations to make it now, permanent in terms of divorce. Yeah. So you find that I have a baby mama somewhere, but I'm in a relationship somewhere. Yes. And you have not married because of that initial marriage. Yeah.
And I feel maybe from a female standpoint, society is one of those other impediments.
The stereotype, yeah?
Yeah.
True.
True. Even you'll talk to someone and they're like, but why?
The stigma.
Does he beat you? No. What's your problem? Or you'll be coined the divorce.
That's normal.
Yeah, it's normal to. That's That's
if you were beaten, what did you do?
Yeah.
To
so society plays a major.
What was your contribution?
Yeah, to this. How did you trigger that? I think society is one, not a legal issue, but society is one of those things that keep people in those situations that could be otherwise very harmful.
Women are very conscious beings. Yeah, it's always about what will DC think. Now my marriage has failed, so let me just try stick it out, because I don't want the people to talk about it. And it's something that really we need to voice.
Or
that
I'll be called a divorcee. Couldn't keep my marriage together.
We should normalize peace of mind. We should normalize happiness in marriages. So if you don't have that, just exit. Just exit.
And it's okay.
Just a follow-up question to you as a wakili sitting in your office and somebody comes to you, because you know that there are grounds for divorce. There are stories online about wakilis coaching their clients and telling them, okay, this situation does not amount to a divorce. Do A, B, C, D, so that, or present it like this, so that when you go to court, it's actually online.
Isn't that why you're paying them though? Like to create a solid
story.
case for you.
I think
But what should they expect when they come and sit in our
personally, you
office?
just need to prove that your marriage has irretrievably broken down, that you have irreconcilable differences. So no matter what it is, if you can prove that, it doesn't have to be that he cheated. It can be emotional abuse, it can be you being neglected. Like, this relationship alone, this man is never home, he works, say, in the States, we are not together.
Yes, we're not together.
We are not together, basically. You just need to prove that everything, nothing is working and nothing is going on in that relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lisa?
It's coming.
It's so irritating. Because you just keep, after I talk, see, not the nice one that you can be like, hi girl, we don't play, we do not play. So Brenda, you mentioned that in a divorce, even before you get into the property conversations, a woman or man needs to be liquid. So a question, any monies that I may have in my account or a joint account, what happens in that case? And is it something we can just agree between me and my husband at that moment to split?
It depends. If the money is in a joint account for purposes of the home, then definitely it is family money. So that has to be split. But if it's money that is in your personal account for your own personal use, then we are talking personal property.
So that's individual property,
yes, yes.
Okay. Let's say there are liabilities in the family, loans maybe we took, and as an individual, that is your own liability.
Definitely.
What happens to like family, loans? And the problem is many times, and there is so much data on this, where women specifically pick up loans for the family because, well, they're great savers. So what happens to that? Is that something that's also considered, because you don't want to go on with life with this burden?
Debt that was for the
for both of you.
It's the same. If you are enjoying property in both names, it's the same way you will suffer liabilities in both names. So if you took debts towards, say, construction of your matrimonial home, then that's a liability for both of you that you should bear equally.
But this loan was in my Shiroko. Is there a way this guy
Yes,
can be like
definitely.
I'm out of
You
here?
remember in our last episode when we were talking about contribution and you proving what you contributed? That's where you come in. I took this loan from my circle, yes, for purposes of constructing our home. So that is what, basically, that's what you bring to court and say, this was actually my contribution. I actually took a loan, which I'm actually still paying.
Yes.
Because it could be that you're still paying it. Yes. So in the division of the matrimonial property, that will be taken into consideration.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Because I know that's a hot topic for many women.
It is, yeah. Taking of loans for spouses or for the home.
Or for the home, The other thing I would need to ask is, since you're married, you're divorcing, anything accrued during the marriage, is it an assured like 50% split in the middle?
Depends on your contribution. Depends on your contribution, because
so it's not assured 50.
It is not an assured 50%, and this is something that most people think is still a thing.
Yes.
But they really need to realize that it's not. It's no longer a thing. You have to be able to prove what role you played in the construction or in the acquisition of property within the home. Yes.
Yeah, monetary or non-monetary.
Monetary or non-monetary.
Yeah.
You have to show proof that yes, this was my contribution, and it is to that you'll be entitled.
That's interesting
Yes.
because for many of us out here, we know it's a 50-50.
It's a 50-50.
Like
It's-
clean split. We leave everything in
ladies
half.
need to know it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah.
Okay.
And men also going to marriages thinking that that's the case.
That's
they
the
also
case
need to know
also.
that that's not the case.
Yeah, and they are hiding.
Yes.
They're investing
So they're trying
in
to hide,
silence,
but
you
don't
know.
hide. It's okay. I
Yeah.
mean, if it's personal property, because at the same time, by the act actually gives you right to own property individually.
As an individual.
Yes, as an
Okay.
individual. So right now, as Shiro, you can go and actually own your personal property. Say buy Benz right
Yeah.
now, and that's yours for your own personal use and enjoyment.
Yeah.
And it doesn't constitute matrimonial property. So
Okay.
people, you need not hide.
Yeah.
You need not hide.
No
I guess
one
that's what
can
I'm also trying to
take
say.
something away
At the end
from-
of it all, it will be to the extent of your contribution. Same to liabilities. You'll be liable to the extent of your contribution as well.
So Brenda, even borrowing again from our last episode, the only things that are assured matrimonial property is your house and the effects in the house,
Yes,
right?
and immovable or and immovable property like motor vehicles,
Yeah.
for instance, personal effects,
Yeah.
household goods, etc.
So
and
everything
family
else
business.
is on the basis of contribution.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And if it also translates into matrimonial property. Yeah, because
Yes.
we also mentioned
Yes,
that it's key
yes.
to remember that.
It has to
that
be.
you may have personal property, but it eventually ends forming matrimonial property.
Property.
Yes.
Okay.
Because of the role that everybody played into its growth. Yeah.
Okay. So there are households that are 50-50 households. From day one, both of them are okay with, our costs are 100,000 per month. You put your 50, you put your 50. So, and in many cases, in those households, things are very clear. So if we are buying a piece of land for our home, it's, you give
50-50.
whether it might not even be 50-50, but there is clear, you gave this amount and
I
that
gave
amount,
this,
yeah. And those kinds of clearer situations. If that kind of a couple decide they want a divorce, can they just sit down together very amicably and be like, this part, this is, just list it down and then come to Brenda and say, okay, this is our list, this is how much she owns of this part and me this part, without fighting,
Very much so.
without the back and forth and
Yes.
the emotional turmoil.
Very much so. And that is what I always advocate for. The minute I get a divorce case before me, the first thing I always ask is, what is the kind of relationship right now with your partner? Are you guys still in talking terms? Because if it's a yes, then you can still salvage a few things. You can actually talk out and hash out very many issues before you even proceed to court. And it is always very helpful. Number one. Number two, it relieves you of the already, so much heartbreak that you already have. It just makes the process a little bit simpler and that much faster. Yes.
Okay.
So it's very key. By the way, if couples can talk things out, even in divorce, it always helps a lot. Yeah. And I think this is something, by the way, that I need to mention. Divorce comes with matrimonial property issues. It comes with children matters, and then the actual divorce. So divorce is a mandatory court process. You have to go to court, file a petition, and have that, you get your NISI, right?
So these are separate cases.
These are separate cases in separate
Wow.
courts. So it's a very expensive affair.
Yes.
But if you're a couple that can actually
save you
sit
legal
down,
fees.
big time,
Oh,
bigly.
so if we agree, we come and say, okay,
Yeah,
this
if
is
you
the
agree
property.
that for the matrimonial property, this is our agreement.
Yeah.
We've done this. For the children, she's going to be having the kids. I'll be having the kids
Yeah.
over the weekends.
You've laid out everything.
You've laid out everything. The only thing you need to do is now, have your divorce finalized.
Yeah. And
Only.
there's no fight, nothing.
And there's no fight, nothing. So in terms of the property, you also understand, you also come into an agreement. She's staying with the home, so she's going to reimburse me whatever I contributed to the home. Or basically, you can actually lay out everything to the details, to the smallest of details.
It saves you from
It saves
going
you
to children's
time,
court, saves you from
Emotional
going
turmoil,
to
legal costs, everything.
Wow.
It makes it so much simpler.
That's really good
Yeah.
insight.
For the children, you can have your parental responsibility agreement
Yes.
drafted for you by Brenda Ogera. Yeah, very simple.
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay. That's actually a really.
It really simplifies.
I know
the
they are
whole
very
process.
emotional, like a very emotional time, but if somehow one can garner the strength to get rid of the emotion
Mhm.
and just handle the business, then that would be much easier.
True. Very. Yeah.
All right. So, well, this is just heavy. The mood in the room is
Yeah,
heavy.
it
These
was
are
not
serious things,
Yeah.
but they're things that need to be talked about. So, what would we challenge our viewers to know or to do at this point in time? From listening to you, I guess today I only have one challenge. If you need to leave, leave. There is a process that allows you to leave. Of course, there are the many challenges that we've talked about, but there is a process in law that allows you to leave a union that you don't want to be in. Yeah. Any additions?
Also, legalize your marriage.
Very important point.
Legalize
Yes.
that marriage.
Legalize your marriage so
Yes.
that you can legalize your separation as well.
Yeah.
As
True.
well. Yeah. Absolutely. There's heartbreak in the room today, but we will be happier. We will be cheerier in our next episode. Thank you.